Good evening, everyone. How's everyone? Hello, guys.
Hello, Rob.
How's it? How are you? So
Hey,
nice
Rob,
to
are
see
you better?
Baruch Hashem. Much better. Much better.
See, you look a lot better. Good for
Thank
you, Rob.
Thank you. How you guys doing?
Baruch Hashem.
Good. It's so nice to hear that.
We've missed you, Rob, for a whole week.
I
A whole week.
You too. I promise you I missed you too.
Hello, Rolf.
How's
Oh, the
it?
big
How's it?
your hard
Makulu
time.
boss is there.
How are you
Mark
all?
giving you a hard time, Rolf.
The Makulu chief.
Makulu chief. The big Makulu chief.
Yeah, we're cool. Are you feeling all right now, Rolf?
Yeah, Baruch Hashem, much better.
Good.
I just have ulcer attack. Was very sore, but Baruch Hashem, much
Right.
better.
Good.
Yeah, it wasn't simple. I needed to take my medication that I didn't take for a long time, and I think it was a lot of stress. It's a lot of stress at work, and I don't know, a lot of stress. I have a lot of stress, most probably, and that's what caused the ulcer to come again. I think so. I'm not sure. Anyway, okay. So I think that we're gonna start the show, no? Or should we wait another minute for more people to join us? See more.
Are we going to do Parashat Pinchas?
Parashat Pinchas. I see that already. People asking me to send them the link, so I'm gonna forward the to some of the guys while I'm talking to you. So some people wanted the link. I send them the link, so they're gonna join. Sure. Okay, so we're gonna start Parashat Pinchas. בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח, והשם עלינו ברחמיו ירוויח. Okay, so we're gonna do a summary for the parsha, but before we summary for the parsha, we usually dedicate the shiur in honor of the deceased Esther Kaden Mordechai. I'm gonna mute everyone, guys. Mute everyone. Hell of a noise. Oops. Okay, everyone is muted. Louis, when we're ready, you just unmute yourself. So we're going to dedicate the show in honor of Esther Kaden bat Ketia, Mordechai ben Rahma, Harav Avraham Haim ben Eliezer Yaakov, Tamar bat Zehava, Rachel bat Malka Sultana, Yaakov Salomon ben Farha, Dvora Ruth bat Beila, David ben Mas'uda, בעזרת השם, and Haim Eliyahu ben Yeshayahu.
Did you say Esther Moshe?
Esther bat Moshe Levy. בעזרת השם, Elui Neshama, also to her, Amen Ken Yeh Ratzon. And now, in health of Liora bat Miriam, Menashe Naji ben Farha, Orna Bluma bat Miriam, Arav Avraham ben Marima, Arav Shlomo Yehuda ben Dalia, הרב משה בן דבורה, מרדכי דוד בן לאה, משה בן יהודית, יוסף בן אסתר, חנה שרה בת דבורה, דבורה בת אסתר, שלמה פנחס בן שיינה פישה, וחונה טוביה בן חיים שאול זליג, הכהן. בעזרת השם רפואה שלמה תודם ולכל שאר חולי ופצועי עמו ישראל בכל מקום שהם. Now we're going to start the introduction or the summary of Parashat Pinchas. In the year 2488 for the creation, Pinchas, the son of Elazar Kohen, the grandson of Aaron, killed the head of the tribe of Shimon, that Zimri ben Salu. Not only that he killed him, he kills also Cosbi Batsur. Why? Because he was jealous, he was zealous to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and to Moshe Rabbeinu. Not only to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we'll speak about it in the show. After that, the Torah tells us that 24,000 souls of the Jewish people die because the sin of Zimri ben Salu. that Zimri ben Salu actually started it, but it's not only him, because the Jewish people sin with the Moabite woman. So 24,000 die from it. We'll speak about it later. HaKadosh Baruch Hu command Moshe Rabbeinu to prepare the Jewish nation to go to a war against the Midianite. After that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu to count Bnei Israel. We see that again in a Parsha. There is a special part of the Parsha that HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell Moshe Rabbeinu that he must count the Jewish people again, and the counting of the ages from the age of 20 to the age of 60, only male. HaKadosh Baruch Hu then tell Moshe Rabbeinu about the dividing the land of Eretz Israel. That means to give portion to every tribe in the land of Eretz Israel. Moshe obviously told Bnei Israel that that's what's going to happen after they're going to enter Eretz Israel, and that will be done by the Urim and Tumim. That means that every person will inherit his land according to the size of the tribe, but it will be done by the Urim and Tumim. It's going to be a lottery that when they put it, the Urim and Tumim say which part of the land of Eretz Israel, which portion will be for which tribe. After that, we see the story of the daughter of Tzlofhad, and we'll speak about them. Very interesting story there. After that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell Moshe Rabbeinu to choose a leader to the Jewish people. That means that Moshe Rabbeinu, after the war with Midian, we'll read about it in the end next week, Be'ezrat Hashem, because next week we'll reach two parshiyot. There it said that Moshe Rabbeinu have to choose a leader to the Jewish people. If we'll have time also, we'll touch that. In the end of the parsha, it speaks about the korbanot, that the Torah tells us again about the sacrifice that they have to do. For example, korban tamid that have to be, and etc. In our parsha, there is only 6 positive commands. So Be'ezrat Hashem, na'aseh v'natzliach, v'Hashem alenu berahamav yarviach. We're going to start Parashat Pinchas. Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe le'emor. Louis, unmute yourself.
That's it. Hashem spoke to Moses saying.
Okay. It said that HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to Moshe Rabbeinu to say what? To say to who? Look what it says here. If you say that he wanted to speak to Pinchas, it says Pinchas ben Elazar. No, he doesn't speak to Pinchas. If you say that he's speaking to Moshe, yes, the Torah tells us, speaking to Moshe. So who did HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell Moshe to speak? That's question been asked by Rabbi Haim ben Attar. Rabbi Haim ben Attar, born in the city of Sali in Morocco 325 years ago. In his commentary that he wrote, it's a book of commentary on all the Torah that called Or HaHaim HaKadosh, he asked that question. And Rabbi Haim ben Attar explained that here HaKadosh Baruch Hu commanding Moshe Rabbeinu, okay, to tell the Jewish people what a great favor Pinchas done to the Jewish nation. By that he killed Zimri ben Salu, that was the head of the tribe of Shimon. By that he killed Kozbi Batsur, that was a princess, a Midianite princess, okay? Pinchas actually brought the salvation to the Jewish people. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell Moshe Rabbeinu to tell Bnei Israel not to hate Pinchas because he killed a head of the tribes. That means a prince from the Jewish people. That's who HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell Moshe to speak. What does it say in verse 11? Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aharon HaKohen השיב את חמתי מעל בני ישראל, בקנאו את קנאתי בתוכם, ולא חיליתי את בני ישראל בקנאתי. Verse 11.
Yeah, Pinchas, the son of Elazar, son of Aaron, the Kohen turned back my wrath from upon the children of Israel when he zealous avenged my vengeance among them, so I did not consume the children of Israel in my vengeance.
Okay, here we see something very interesting. The Torah tells us that the word Pinchas, if you look, there is a lettuce yud, small lettuce yud. And the Mefarshim ask, why is the lettuce yud of Pinchas, it's very small? Because Pinchas you can write also without the yud. You can write Pei, Nun, Het, Samech, okay, with the nikud, okay, of Pinchas. So why did they have to add up a little yud? So I saw a beautiful commentary that the Mefarshim bring, that the lettuce yud actually referring to the Brit Kodesh. What it mean a Brit Kodesh? A male, every male, okay, when he reached the 8 days after he born, they do a Brit Milah. If he's healthy, obviously, we're talking about healthy. When they do the Brit Milah, what do? They remove the foreskin. And now he become holy. That little boy, after they remove the foreskin, not only that they remove the foreskin, obviously they have to do pri'ah and metzitza. Okay, what happened there? When they remove it, the boy become holy. That means that a person become holy only after you have a Brit Milah. Okay. Say, the Mefarshim, that Pinchas, when he saw what happened with Zimri ben Salu, when Zimri ben Salu was the head, he was the prince of the tribe of Shimon. When he took Kosbi Batsu, after he been with her, that she wasn't Jewish, what happened? He spoiled the Brit Kodesh. That means that the light wasn't there anymore. Hazal said that when a Jewish person go with a Gentile, with a Gentile woman, he lost all of that special light that there is on him. And what it's referred to, that's the Yud. That means the letters Yud, it's a holy name, but it's referring to the Brit Kodesh. So Hazal explained, you know why it said Pinchas with the small Yud? To tell you that Pinchas was jealous to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and to Moshe Rabbeinu. When he saw what happened, he took initiative and himself killed Zimri ben Salu and Kosbi Batsu. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in the merit of that, added for him the letters Yud. Why? Because he saved the Jewish people from destruction. That means that Pinchas was the one that saved the Jewish people. And that's what he got the letters Yud. Okay, we see that simple thing, but we have to understand that the Torah also brings us in that verse the dynasty of Pinchas. Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron HaKohen. Many of the Mefarshim say, why does the Torah have to give us the dynasty of Pinchas? Why is it so important? So Hazal explained like this. I'm going to bring the pshat, and then we're going to go a bit on a deeper meaning to understand. So according to the pshat, Rashi HaKadosh say, Mishum she'ashvatim hayu mevazim oto. What it means, Mishum she'ashvatim, lefi she'ashvatim hayu mevazim oto? Because the tribe used to degrade Pinchas by saying, listen, this person killed a prince amongst the Jewish people. And he got that viciousness, this kind of character trait of anger, whatever you want to call it. From who? From his grandfather. Which grandfather? His mother's father. His mother married, obviously, Elazar. You know who she was? She was the sister of Sipporah. Sipporah was the wife of Moshe. That's me. That they're referring to who? To his grandfather Yitro. Shehaya mefatem agalim la'avodah zarah. What does it mean? Hazal said Rashi said that Hazal say that people used to tease and used to degrade Pinchas because he killed Zimri ben Salu, that was the head of the tribe of Shimon. What did they use to degrade him? That they used to say, listen, you got that kind of a character trait to become a murderer, to become whatever you want to call it, that a person that doesn't have mercy. Where did you get it? From your grandfather. The Torah come and tell us, Pinchas wasn't like this. Pinchas was the opposite. Pinchas was the son of Elazar Kohen, and who was his grandfather? Aaron Kohen. Why dafka to Aaron Kohen? Because Hazal tell us that Aaron ohev shalom verodef shalom. Aaron Kohen, his grandfather used to love peace and used to run after peace. And the Torah come and tell us, I'm joining him to that dynasty of peace. You know why? Because what he didn't done it from cruelty. He wasn't cruel. He done it because he was zealous to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and to Moshe Rabbeinu. We'll get to it just now. By that he kills Zimri ben Salu, a matter of fact, he have mercy and compassion on the Jewish people. Because if Pinchas wouldn't kill Zimri and Cosbi Batsur, the plague would continue. The entire Jewish people could be wiped off from earth. So the opposite is to say, Has v'shalom, to say that Pinchas have the character trait of jealousy. Okay, that's what Rashi HaKadosh explained. But Rabbi Chaim ben Attar bring another idea. Rabbi Chaim ben Attar say, you know why is the Torah tell us that Pinchas was the grandson of Aaron HaKohen? She'ohev shalom verodef shalom? Because Pinchas brought peace between Aaron and the Jewish nation. Exactly the opposite. What other people say. He said like this. He said Pinchas stopped the killing and stopped the plague that was on the Jewish people. And he brought peace between the Jewish people to Aaron. How? Say Rabbi Chaim ben Attar something extraordinary. Listen to that and focus with me for a few seconds. He said that Pinchas, by that he killed Zimri ben Salu and Cosbi Batsur, he stopped the plague. We all know. Until here we know. He said, but his grandfather was Aaron. And Aaron been misled by the Arab, by the multination, by the two sons of Bilam, Yonos and Yombros, as the Zohar HaKadosh say, that they bring in him the gold in witchcrafting and they put the holy name inside and the golden calf happened. And what happened in the golden calf? We know that people die. He says, so how did Pinchas make peace? Aaron brought the death. Pinchas, by killing Zimri ben Salu, he stopped the death. By that he created, by that he acted with such a fundamental idea, with such a fundamental action, he stopped the plague from the Jewish people. That means that he brought peace between them and his grandfather. Why? Because his grandfather, unfortunately in the end, he was involved with the golden calf. So that Pinchas come and kill Zimri ben Salu, he created peace and harmony between Aaron HaKohen and to the Jewish people. And that's what it say here. Pinchas, the son of Elazar, the son of Aaron HaKohen. To tell you that in the merit of Pinchas, become peace between Bnei Israel and Aaron HaKohen. And that was the idea of Or HaChaim HaKadosh. Later on in verse 11, it says like this, Bikan'o et kin'ati. That means that he was jealous to me, in Pshat of the Dvarim. But I would like to explain something extraordinary. I read a book two nights ago. It's called Imre Noam. Imre Noam, I brought it a few times. It's been written by Arav Yoram Abargel, Zecher Tzadik Vekadosh Libracha. He born in a Moshav Shoresh, Moshav Brosh, in the south of Israel, next to Netivot. He born around 67 years ago. He died very early because he died 3 years ago. And in his book, he explained something like this. By the way, just to explain to you, Rabbi Yoram Abargel, his beginning of his study, he studied at yeshiva, one of the Chabad yeshiva. After that, he grown up, he moved to Sephardi yeshiva. Later on in his life, he became his own yeshiva. He opened many yeshivot. He was a great Kabbalistic rabbi that lived in the south. And he said like this. He explained that Pinchas not only jealous to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, although that he said, Bekan'o et kin'ati, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu said he was zealous to me, he said that he wasn't zealous only to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he was zealous also to Moshe Rabbeinu. He said, and the proof to it, I'll bring it to you from the Gemara. Hazal in the Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin in page 82, folio 1, says something very interesting. That when Zimri ben Salu brought the Midianite, he brought her in the front of Moshe Rabbeinu and the elderly, the 71 elderly. And he said to him like this, Ben Amram, the son of Amram, he referring to Moshe, Zo asura umoteret. I'm reading the Gemara and I'm translating. He says, Zo mutara, Zo asura umoteret. This woman, is she forbidden? That means Zimri asking Moshe, am I forbidden to be with her or I'm allowed to be with her? He asked him a question, didn't give Moshe Rabbeinu a chance to answer, and he said like this, Ve'im tomar, and if you say asura, and if you said to me that I'm not allowed to be with this woman, but Yitro, mi yitir lecha, the daughter of Yitro, who allowed you to marry her? Hazal say, in that precise moment that Zimri ben Salu say it, he say it in the front of Moshe, and in next to Moshe was obviously all the elderlies, because it was the Sanhedrin. Not only that, was other people there. Hazal say in the Gemara that Pinchas saw the face of Moshe. That means he saw that Moshe's face become red. He was embarrassed. That means that Zimri ben Salu embarrassed Moshe by asking him that. If you're telling me that I'm not allowed to go with a Midianite, we allowed you to go with a Midianite woman. That means that he embarrassed him in the public. Pinchas saw that. He was so jealous that from his jealousy, what has he done? He killed him. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised Pinchas in the merit that the action that he done, and that fundamental action that he done, he promised him something great. What is he promising? That number one, he become Kohen. Because until now, Pinchas was a Levy. Pinchas wasn't a Kohen yet. Number two, Pinchas become Eliyahu Hanavi, Elijah. Never die. HaKadosh Baruch Hu given him all of that. What does it mean? That because he saw that they're embarrassing a righteous man, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he took initiative and he done what he done. He killed who? Zimri ben Salu and Kosbi Batsu. And there is a beautiful thing. Hazal explained, and the Mefarshim bring how many miracles happened to Pinchas, because when he killed them, okay, he stabbed them with his, what do you call it? It wasn't a sword, it was, I forgot the name. Anyway, Romach. Romach is a long spear, with a spear. So when he stabbed them with a spear, Hazal said no blood came down. So if Zimri was on top of Kosbi, when he lifted him up, Zimri should be down. A miracle happened, listen to that Kosbi was down and Zimri was on top of her. So all the nation will see, why did Pinchas kill Zimri ben Salu and Kosbi Batsu? Okay, that's not for what I wanted to talk. I wanted to talk about the jealousy. So you learn from here. When a person speaks badly about a tzaddik, you learn from it that you see from Pinchas, we're learning that he deserved for a harshly punishment. What does it mean, a harshly punishment? You can see. But I want to tell you a story, and I read the story also in a book of Yoram Abarshel. It's a true story. I hope that I'm not going to bore you, but please listen to me. As I mentioned, Rav Yoram Abarshel was a great Kabbalistic rabbi. And from time to time, not from time to time, quite often, people used to come to get his blessing, to sit with him, to get his advice, because he was a scholar person. HaKadosh Baruch Hu given him a lot of wisdom, and he knew how to answer, and he was a Kabbalistic. And as much that I read the book, I suddenly realized that what I know about him, it's almost zero compared to what he is. And one of the stories that I hear, it's a beautiful story. Listen to that. And it belongs actually to what we actually spoke now. And in his story, he tells a true story. A very famous, listen to that, a very famous Rosh Yeshiva in Eretz Israel came to see him. And when Rav Yoram Abarshel saw him, sorry, I need to drink something. My throat was very dry. When Rav Yoram Abarshel saw that great, famous Rosh Yeshiva coming to see him, want to speak to him, he told his advisor, listen, go speak to him. Maybe he need me. I don't want to waste his Torah. Every minute that he's waiting on the queue, it's bitul Torah. So they asked him, so the rabbi said, no. I come here for a private matter. I'll wait until the last one finish. I want to be the last one. And say Rav Yoram Abarshel that this rabbi waited 2 hours on a queue until the last one left. When the last one left, that famous Rosh Yeshiva that everyone know him in Eretz Israel, walked to his room. And he said to Rabbi Yoram like this. He said to him, Rabbi, I've gone to many Rabbonim. I've been consulting with many Rabbonim, and I still didn't receive my salvation. I hope that you're going to help me to get my salvation. Rav Yoram Abarshel didn't know what is he talking. And that famous Rosh Yeshiva said to Rav Yoram Abarshel like this, money I'm not short. I have money, Baruch Hashem, I'm not short. I have big yeshiva. I have great Talmidei Chachamim. Ana, I'm not short. Everyone in Eretz Israel know me. I'm a great Rosh Yeshiva. My student, not only that, writing books, they're writing books on a Shas. Everyone respect me. I'm not short with that. But I'm short with one thing, he said to him. And listen to that, what he said. I have no emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Rav Yoram Abarshel didn't know what hit him, he said. He looked at this rabbi, and for a few moments, he didn't open his mouth. And he said to him, before he even had a chance even to ask him, he said to him, I want to tell you, I read a lot of Musar book, I read a lot of Emunah book. And for the last 2 years, I don't have Emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the famous rabbi. Rav Yoram Abarshel looked at him for a few seconds and didn't know what to say. And he says, suddenly HaKadosh Baruch Hu opened his eyes in memory, and he remembered that 2 years ago, that famous rabbi spoke and mocked down the Baal HaTanya. That means he spoke badly about Baal HaTanya. Rabbi Shneor Zalman Miladi, that wrote the Tanya, as a matter of fact, he started the Chabad movement. And he spoke badly about the Baal HaTanya, and he spoke badly about those that follow the Hasidut of the Chabad. Okay. He looked at that rabbi and he said to him, you know why you don't have emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu? I'll tell you. 2 years ago, you spoke publicly against the Baal HaTanya, and you spoke badly about him, not only about him, all of those that continue and believing in Hasidut Chabad. And from that day, HaKadosh Baruch Hu took from you the Si'ata Dishmaya. That means on that day, HaKadosh Baruch Hu pulled his help with you. And that's what you're feeling, that you don't believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And he said to him, I'll tell you, you come to me and I'll tell you what to do. You're going to take the book of the Tanya and you're going to read it tens of times, but read it. I don't want you to study it. I just want you to read it and read it and read it and finish the book of Tanya. That famous rabbi heard that. He was shocked because when he heard that, imagine a person that pouring freezing water in winter on him. He was completely shocked. He didn't say a lot. He said, thank you to the rabbi, I will do. And he left the office. That famous rabbi obviously thought a lot about what Rabbi Yoram Bargel told him. And he took 3 months of leave pay, and he gone by himself. He didn't tell anyone where is he going. And he starts reading the books of the Tanya tens of times. And he read and he read. You just read it, but he doesn't study it. After 3 months, say Rabbi Yoram Bargel, the same rabbi come to him. But this time he can see on his face that the light is on. And that rabbi came and he wanted to thank Rabbi Yoram Bargel, and he said to him, thank you for saving me. Thank you for bringing me my life again. I feel now my emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and I want to thank you. That's what he said to Rabbi Yoram Bargel. Rabbi Yoram Bargel bring that story. And why is he bringing it? He said from that story, you can learn something extraordinary. What you can learn? He said you can learn how dangerous is it when you speak about tzaddikim. When you speak about tzaddikim, you can lose not only your life in this world, also for the world to come. And that rabbi got his salvation by that someone told him, it was, in that case, was Rabbi Yoram Bargel, told that famous Rosh Yeshiva that he spoke badly about who? About Baal Tanya. But from here, Rabotai, we have to learn a very important message, that we have to be careful when you're speaking about tzaddikim, when you're speaking about Talmidei Chachamim, when you're speaking about rabbis, you have to be careful what you're saying about them, because you don't know their level, and you don't know how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu loved them. What is the connection? When Pinchas saw that Zimri ben Salu embarrassed Moshe Rabbeinu, immediately he took this fundamental action and he done what he done. He killed him and he killed Cosbi Batsu. To tell us how much we have to be careful with speaking about tzaddikim. And I want to tell you now a personal story that happened with me. Listen to that. It's a true story. I'm not going to tell you names because you most probably, if I mention the name, you will know. It's happened to me between 15 to 18 years ago. I'm not sure exactly. It was on December. It was just before Hanukkah or during Hanukkah, the first day of Hanukkah or just before the first day of Hanukkah. And Glen Hazel was like a ghost town. So I was with my little boy. Today is not little anymore, it's close to, it's over 18. And I was pushing him in a pram on Long Avenue. And I have with me the dog. I took my dog also for a walk. And we gone for, and I was pushing the pram. And while I'm pushing the pram, I see a member of our community taking off poster. And I couldn't understand what is he doing. And I know him. I said to him, tell me, what's wrong? Why are you taking posters? He said, no, I can't stand it. I said, what do you can't stand? What is the poster done to you? He said, this is Avodah Zarah. I didn't say nothing. I greeted him and I gone. Rabotai, since then, that person got sick until he almost lost his life. That person, I'm not saying that he was 100% healthy, but he got so sick that he almost lost his life. Why? Because he took poster of Chabad. And he said about the Rebbe, because it was the picture of the Rebbe, that the thing that there was advertising to come to light candle, I think in Senton, I don't know where it was, but whatever was the story in that time, that he said to me, this is Avodah Zarah, they're worshiping idols. I didn't say, well, then I just walked. And I tell you, from that day, until I read that story, that story always was in my mind, that picture of December. And when I read that story, I saw when you speak badly about tzaddikim, what can happen to a person. So why am I telling it? That one of the most important things that we have to be careful is Lashon Hara and how we're talking. And I'm speaking to myself because you all tzaddikim, you definitely tzaddik, but I'm speaking for myself. We have to be careful. What are we saying about tzaddikim? What are we saying about great rabbis? We don't know their level. HaKadosh Baruch Hu can love the tzaddikim. When you're talking badly about him, immediately you yourself sentence your judgment. So to tell you from this verse that we learn now, how much we have to be careful with the honoring, and we're not speaking badly about tzaddikim. And you maybe don't like their way of thinking. You maybe don't agree with the way of thinking, but you can't speak badly about them. And it doesn't make a difference, Rabotai, if it's a Chabad, or it's a Ashkenaz, or it's a Sfarad, whatever they are. You have to be careful how you speak about tzaddikim. Each one according to his own. Because in the Israeli Defense Force, there's so many units. There's the parachute, there's the tanks, there's the cannon, and every army. Every one of them think that he's the best. The Air Force say we the best. The Navy say we the best. The tanks say we the best. Okay? But without any one of them, it's going to be an army. The same with the Jewish people. These certain people that worshiping HaKadosh Baruch Hu in that way. You worship HaKadosh Baruch Hu in your way. And other people worshiping HaKadosh Baruch Hu in their way. As long that it's according to our Torah. That's what's important. Many, so they have many different, units in the army of Hashem. Nothing wrong. We respect each other, and that's the major key, respecting each other. Let's move on to verse 13. With your permission, that was the story. I hope that I didn't waste your time. It's just a story that I said to myself, I have to share with you. It was my personal story that happened, I'm telling you now, at least 18 years, and it was sitting on me for 18 years. I'll never forget that December. From time to time, that picture used to come to me. And when I read that story about Rav Yoram Abargel, that famous Rosh Yeshiva, I understand how is our friend got sick. Anyway, in verse 13 it says like this, והייתה לו ולזרעו אחריו ברית כהונת עולם, תחת אשר קינה לאלוהיו, ויכפר על בני ישראל.
And it shall be for him and his offspring after him a covenant of the eternal priesthood, because he took vengeance for his God, and he atoned for the children of Israel.
I saw a beautiful commentary on that verse, a beautiful commentary from Rav Menachem ben Meir Eisenstadt. Rabbi Menachem, a son of Meir Eisenstadt, he born 203 years ago in Ukraine, and he wrote a book, Homat Ha'esh, The Wall of Fire. And he says that usually when a person make avera, he say, you know what, this I make avera, but you know Chaim Yankel also make avera. When Chaim Shmerel make avera, he said, you know, it's not the end of the world. Look, also those people making avera. He said, but that's what this verse come to teach us, something very important. This verse come to teach us something important. He said also, if you look at the 10 commands that we have in the Torah, they're all in singular. What it means in singly, that when the Torah given us and the 10 Commandments been said to each one individually, for example, you should not murder. You should not murder. It doesn't say in plural, it says in single. You should not steal. You should not commit idolatry. You should not worship idols. Each one individually. What does it mean? It means that it comes to tell you that this verse comes to teach that each Jewish person should be individual. He said Pinchas was an individual. How come? He said that Pinchas saw that Moshe Rabbeinu and the 70 elderly saw what Zimri ben Salu done. That means that he committed immorality. But he didn't do nothing. Zimri ben Salu can say, listen, if the king of Israel, Moshe Rabbeinu, that brought the Torah from heaven, didn't say nothing, I mustn't say nothing. If the 7 elderly, the Sanhedrin, didn't say nothing, I mustn't say nothing. There is a reason why Moshe Rabbeinu didn't done any action, and why did Pinchas done it, although that Pinchas asked a permission. Hazal explained that he said to Moshe Rabbeinu, Kanaim, okay, that people that doesn't do what HaKadosh Baruch Hu command, Kanaim pug'im b'hem. Jealous people can harm them. So Moshe Rabbeinu said to him, you learn, if you want to do it. If you don't want, don't do it. Hazal also explained why Moshe Rabbeinu didn't done any action, didn't say nothing. Hazal explained because Moshe Rabbeinu didn't done. Because if Moshe Rabbeinu would do anything, everyone will say, yes, you know why you took action? Because he embarrassed you in the front of everyone. So Moshe Rabbeinu said, I'd rather don't do anything that they don't speak Lashon Hara about me. But Pinchas come to teach us that you can't follow the herd. You have to be individual. Pinchas, when he saw what happened, if he wouldn't take that action and kill Zimri ben Salu and Cosbi Batsur, the plague wouldn't stop. That means that the immorality would continue and many of the Jewish people will die. So say Rabbi Menachem ben Meir Eisenstadt, something like that. You learn that sometime you have to be individual. Not when everyone do, you also must say, because they do, I must do. No, you must be individual and you must say, wait, Vachabiki, Pasop, is that the right thing to do or not? Nachon that everyone doesn't do. I don't have to be the sheep that follow the herd. I have to be individual. And that's why the 10 Commandments come individually to each one, to teach you that each one of us is a full world. Each one of us, we are entire world. That means that each Jewish person is individual, but it's a complete world. And that's the message on that verse. That means to teach us that each one of us, we are a special person. Let's move on to verse 17 and 18. And here we see something very interesting. In verse 17 and 18, the Torah tells us like this, Tzeror et hamidyadim vehikitem otam. That means, one second, Tzeror ki tzorerim hem lachem benichlechem asher nichlu lachem al dvar peor ועל דבר כוסבי בת נשיא מדיין, אחותם עמוקה ביום המגפה על דבר פעור. בכבוד, לואי.
Right. Haras, the Midianite, had smited them, for they harassed you through their conspiracy and they conspired against you. It's a matter of peer. And in the matter of Koziba, daughter of the leader of the Midian, the sister who was slain on that day of the plague in the matter of Peor.
Okay, here we see something very interesting. The Torah tells us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu that he must actually, when you prepare the war, when you're going to war with Midian, you must actually don't have mercy on him. Kill them, destroy that nation. And many of the Rabbonim ask a very famous question. The Mefarshim ask, when it's come to the Egyptian that killed us, that put us underneath slavery, not only that, they abused us in Egypt, Hazal say. What is the Torah say? Lo teta'ev mitzri ki ger hayta be'artzo. That means you're not allowed to despise the Egyptian because you was a foreigner in the land. You must show them gratitude that you was a foreigner and you lived in the land. Okay? But wait, the Egyptian killed us. The Egyptian murdered us. The Egyptian actually killed millions from the children of Israel. So what's happening here? Not only that, we see that the Torah tells us the same story about Eliphaz. Eliphaz was the son of Esav. After Yaakov Avinu ran from Esav, Esav sent his son Eliphaz to chase Yaakov Avinu, to kill Yaakov Avinu. Eliphaz chased Yaakov, we caught with him, we explained the story that he wanted to kill him. Yaakov Avinu given him all of his money, all of his clothes, and he became a poor person. And he said to him, a poor person considered as a dead person. And Eliphaz left him. So what does it say about the Adomim? Hazal tell us, Lo teta'ev Adomi, ki achicha. You should not despise the Edomite because they're your brothers. But when it's come to the Midianite, the Torah tells us that you should kill them and you should destroy them. Why? Many of the Mefarshim say, why? What's the difference? So I saw a beautiful commentary of Rabbeinu Behaye. Rabbeinu Behaye born in the city of Saragossa in Spain 766 years ago. In his commentary on the Torah, he explained that when the Jewish people was in slavery, in hard slavery, in physical slavery, when the wicked Egyptian killed the Jewish people, when they slaughtered them, when they abused them, what did they done to them? They abused and they killed the physicality about the Jewish people. And the same was with Ammon and Moab. But when it's come to the Midianite didn't want to kill us. The Midianite wanted to kill us spiritually, not physically. That means that the Midianite, when they wanted to kill us, they have a plan. They want to kill us spiritually. What it means spiritually? By that they send their daughters, as we know that, for example, Cosbi was a princess. You know why they call her Cosbi? That's not her real name. Hazal in the Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin in page 82, folio 2. Hazal said that was a name Shilvani. Shilani. Okay? That the name was Shilani. So then you say, why did they call her Cosbi? Hazal in the Gemara explained, Mishum Shekizva. What it means, Mishum Shekizva? Because she disappointed her father. Listen to that. Her father was a king, and he said to her, Hazal explained, that you go and sin with the most important Jewish person. He referred to Moshe Rabbeinu. But because she disappointed, she gone with Zimri ben Salu, because she saw that he was the head of the tribe of Shimon. Shimon was a strong tribe, and everyone was around the prince, giving him honor. So she was thinking that that's Moshe Rabbeinu, Chas v'shalom. So what happened? She gone out with Zimri ben Salu, and that's why they call her Cosbi Batsu. That means that the Midianite send their own kids to sin with immorality. Do you understand that? It's beyond understanding. Say Rabbeinu Behaye, by that the Midianites send their daughters to do whatever they want to do, to go and sin, to cause the Jewish people. They're not only going to kill them in this world, the physicality, they're going to kill them for the world to come, the spiritual world. Because we Jewish people believe in two worlds. In this world, that this is the physical world, and the world to come, it's the spiritual world. By that the Midianites wanted to destroy the Jewish people, not physically, spiritually, they're not only that they're going to kill them here, they're going to kill them for the world to come. Maybe here they would live, nothing wrong, they would stay alive, but they did. But spiritually, for the world to come, and spiritually here, they finished. And that's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Moshe Rabbeinu, that Tzeror et HaMidyanim, don't wait for them. Fight with them to the end. You must kill them and destroy them. Why? Because what they wanted to do to you, they not only wanted to kill you in this world physically, like the Egyptian, like Ammon and Moab. No. They wanted to kill you here. You maybe stay alive. But spiritually, you did in this world and for the world to come. And that's the difference, say Rabbeinu Behaye. Why is it so important that the Torah tell us that we have to kill the Midianite, while the Egyptian that killed millions of the Jewish people. Hazal in the Midrash said that Paro HaRasha, when he got leprosy, his advisors told her to slaughter every morning 150 babies to make a bath, to bath in their blood, and 150 babies in the evening, also again to have a bath, and that will help to cure his leprosy. So you can imagine how many millions the Egyptians slaughtered. And what the Torah tells us, you should not despise the Egyptian. After all, you was a foreigner in the land. You got to show gratitude. Although that they kill us physically in this world, we have to show them gratitude. And that's the difference, Rabbeinu Behaye. So from here we learn, Hazal tell us, Gadol, המחטיאו יותר מההורגו. Hazal tell us in a midrash, in בספרי, on Parashat כי תצא למלחמה, פסקה רש נון ב', that means 252. There Hazal say, גדול המחטיאו יותר מההורגו. A person that caused a Jewish person to sin, it's greater avera, greater sin than he killed the Jewish person. When you cause other people to sin, it's a greater avera than killing a person. We don't understand that. Why? By that you cause other person to do avera, to do a sin, you actually killing him in this world and for the world to come. So we see here how much is important to be careful with spirituality, because the Jewish people, it's all about spiritually, not physically. Let's move on now to chapter 27, Louis 27, verse 3. 27, verse 3. And in chapter 27, verse 3, we see something very interesting. We see that the daughter of Tzlofhad, a matter of fact, coming and trying, we'll see that they're actually speaking to Moshe Rabbeinu. We'll see now. Better I'll read it. I will read it, and then we'll see and we'll explain. And they say like this, אבינו מת במדבר, והוא לא היה בתוך העדה הנועדים על אדוני בעדת קורח, כי בחטאו מת, ובנים לא היו לו.
Our father died in the wilderness, but he was not among the assembly that was gathering against Hashem, in the assembly of Korach, but he died of his own sin, and he had no sons.
Okay, we see here something extraordinary. We see that the Torah tells us that the daughter of Tzlofhad come to defend their father. Okay, and Hazal is saying in Gemara in Masechet Baba Batra, page 119, folio 2. Hazal say like this. Hazal say, לצלופחד היו 5 בנות. לצלופחד have 5 daughters, and their name, Mahla, Noah, Hagla, Milka, ותרצה. That's the name. Hazal continue and say, והיו חכמניות, and there was a smart woman. And today, Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll try to understand what it means, smart woman, just a little bit. Let's try to understand how smart they was. Hazal, as a matter of fact, tell us, in this verse we learn that the daughter of Tzlofhad tried to bribe Moshe Rabbeinu. Can you believe it? So let's start with the first sentence. What is it said? Avinu met bamidbar. Our father died in a wilderness. What did they say to Moshe Rabbeinu? Our father was a righteous man and he died in a wilderness. And a proof to it, okay, that he died in a wilderness and he was a righteous man, okay. You know why did he die in a wilderness? Because when he heard the multinations say that in a wilderness you don't have to keep Shabbat, only in Eretz Israel you have to keep Shabbat, it hurt him. What has he done? He started to go and collect the trees. And when they warned him, he continued to collect the trees on Shabbat, and they brought him in Moshe, and Moshe brought his case in the front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, okay, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to stone him, and he been killed. That means that said the daughter of Tzlofhad to Moshe Rabbeinu, our father was a righteous man. That he been killed, it's to show the entire Jewish people, the entire Bnei Israel, to learn how important is the Shabbat. That when a person doesn't keep Shabbat and he been warned, the Sanhedrin can kill him. He can be dead. That means he done it for the sake of heaven, that he collected wood on Shabbat. And then what did they say to him? They continue and say to him, והוא לא היה בתוך העדה הנועדים על אדוני בעדת קורח. He wasn't amongst Korach's followers, okay, that stood against HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Said the daughter of Tzlofhad to Moshe Rabbeinu, to prove you that our father was a righteous man, he didn't join the mahloket, he didn't join the argument, he didn't join Faribel. As a matter of fact, he ran away from Korach and his followers. Okay, he didn't join them. And then what did they say to him? Look what they said to him, the final thing, Velo hayu lo banim, and he didn't have son. What is the connection? Bnot Tzlofhad said to Moshe Rabbeinu, our father didn't have son. Obviously, if he did have son, you wouldn't be here in the front of Moshe Rabbeinu to ask for heritage in the land of Eretz Israel. They said to him, They hint to Moshe Rabbeinu, to prove to you that our father wasn't against you in a mahloket of Korach, with Korach assembly, and against HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because Korach and his followers say that Has v'Shalom Moshe Rabbeinu, they throw a rumor that he have a physical relationship with a married woman. His own wife he left, Moshe Rabbeinu, parash mishto. So they say, so what happened? Many men start to become suspicious of their wife. They took the wife to the Kohen, to Elazar Kohen. Why? Because to give her the sota water. Said the daughter of Tzlofhad to Moshe, our father wasn't amongst them. Why? Because he didn't brought our mother to the Kohen. Because Hazal say, if a husband was suspicious of his wife and he took her to the Kohen and the Kohen give her the sota water, if she couldn't have kids, because now she drank from that water and she didn't sin, she can fall pregnant. She's not a barren anymore. If she couldn't have children, she will have. If she couldn't have boys, she'll have boys. She said to him, you see, our father didn't. Our father wasn't amongst Korach and his followers. Our father was a righteous man. And therefore, we entitled for a portion in the land of Eretz Israel. Moshe, what did he say? He said, I can't accept that. Why? Because I'm involved. Now you're telling me that your father wasn't against me. You're trying to bribe me. What did Moshe Rabbeinu do? He took his case in the front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu told them, obviously, that they deserve a peace in the land of Eretz Israel. They deserve a heritage in Eretz Israel. And that's what Hazal come to teach us. Hazal come to teach us that the daughter of Tzlofhad was a smart woman. And how did they spoke to Moshe? all with hinting to him. But Moshe Rabbeinu that received the Torah immediately understand where they're going. And he knew how to answer them. I can't tell you that you're entitled for a heritage in a land. You know why? Because I'm involved. Because you told me that your father was towards me. He didn't go against me. Let's bring it in the front of the Almighty. The person, no, sorry, not the person. The Almighty know exactly what there is in everyone's heart. And whatever the Almighty tell me, I will do. And the Almighty paskin what? That they entitled for heritage in the land of Eretz Israel. So from here we see about a little bit about the chokhmah, the wisdom of the daughter of Tzlofhad and Be'ezrat Hashem, that we should all merit to have a wisdom, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will merit us to have a wisdom, and send us Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily, and we see the building of Bet HaMikdash speedily in our day. Amen. Ken Yeh Ratzon. If you have any question, please unmute yourself and ask question, and I will try and answer your question.
Rabbi Levy.
Sorry, Erev Tov, my throat was dry. Yeah.
Rabbi
Yes.
Levy.
Bechavod,
You can hear me?
clearly.
Rabbi Levy, you said the Shabbat only started when they got into Eretz Israel, but what happened when they were in
Never say that.
the wilderness? When they
I
were
never-
collecting manna, food, when
No,
HaKadosh
no,
Baruch Hu was
never
giving them
said-
food.
And Adrian, I never said that. I said that they say, the Erev Rav, the multinations say that to keep Shabbos only in Eretz Israel. You have to keep Shabbat only when you enter the land of Eretz Israel. When you're in the wilderness, you don't have to. That's what I say.
Oh, okay, sorry, my apologies.
Any other question?
Hello, it's Anthony Furman. How are you?
Baruch Hashem, Anthony.
Can you talk about the plague a bit in Pinchas's time? What type of plague was it? How many people were killed? Were people sick? What happened? How long was the plague? And everything about the plague.
What's happened in a plague? HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent the angel of death, and he started killing them. Was the angel of death, and he killed 24,000. Okay,
That's it. That's all it was.
that's
Who
all
was
what
it?
it was. The angel of death. Until Aaron done what he have to do, and we saw what he have to done. Until Pinchas done what he have to done, and he stopped the plague.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Okay, guys, have a good night. All the best. Wish you a great Shabbos. Please, God, we'll meet on a Sunday.
Okay, Rob, thank you.
All the best. Good night. Ciao, ciao.
Good night, Rob.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Rob.